So I'm not necessarily a groyper. I'm not. I think Nick Fuentes does go a little bit far sometimes, but he has some hilarious takes every once in a while.
There's got to be one real nigga. Can the real nigga please stand up? There has to be one real nigga left in America, in this damn country. Are there any real niggas left that aren't doing advertisements for gold and fucking pills? Are there any real niggas left that actually got censored and banned on YouTube? Where's the real niggas? And I'll die just to inspire another generation of them. I'll tell you who's a real nigga. Kanye West. Ye is a real nigga. I'm another kid from Chicago like him. I'm a real nigga. And I know that with everything I've done to this point, notwithstanding whatever happens tomorrow or the next day or any other day, I know there's 1,000 real niggas that are inspired by watching the show.
Wow. But this long beef between the moderate right and the groypers has been heating up post Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson's interview. And Tucker Carlson said something about this that I actually really do agree with.
Ben Shapiro spent, I don't know, a decade posing as someone who actually cared about your concerns as an American. He did it imperfectly. There were flashes that he didn't really care. But he's like, no, I'm a conservative. I'm a conservative. I'm not just interested in the fortunes of one tiny country in the Middle East with a population of 9 million. No, I have a lot of interests. I really care about this country.
Yeesh. And Tucker Carlson's point here was just a build up to a larger point where apparently Ben Shapiro rightly criticized Tucker's point about Maduro being socially conservative, which honestly,
who gives a shit?
But I think I agree with Ben Shapiro more on this particular point than I do with Tucker Carlson. But I think Tucker Carlson touches on something that many have noticed when it comes to Ben Shapiro. Shapiro isn't America first. He's Israel first. And I know I said recently that I believe the Daily Wire alone and how I felt that after the death of Charlie Kirk, the division isn't what the American right needed, but division has come anyways. And I think the important thing to question is, who is causing the division? And more importantly, why? Does anyone find it interesting that after Tucker Carlson interviewed Nick Fuentes, Ben Shapiro started attacking him?
That topic is the fragmentation of the political right. That fragmentation is being caused purposefully by a splinter faction of people led by a young man named Nick Fuentes. They call themselves the groypers. They are white supremacists. They hate women, Jews, Hindus, many types of Christians, brown people of a wide variety of backgrounds, blacks, America's foreign policy, and America's Constitution. They admire Hitler and Stalin. And that splinter faction is now being facilitated and normalized within the mainstream Republican Party. The main agent in that normalization is Tucker Carlson, who is an intellectual coward, a dishonest interlocutor, and a terrible friend. And Tucker Carlson last week was aided, abetted, celebrated for normalizing Nazism within the Republican Party by the mainstay organization of the traditional right, the Heritage Foundation.
This isn't new for Ben Shapiro. And if you haven't watched my Daily Wire series or some of the other personality videos I've done, let's just say Ben Shapiro has issues with anyone who isn't pro-Israel, whether it's Candace Owens, Nick Fuentes, or Kanye West. Granted, this group of people says pretty wild things, but really, Ben Shapiro can't pretend that he doesn't notice a lot of pattern recognition that a lot of these people do. A majority of crimes are committed by a minority of people, and by minority, I mean minorities. There can be an argument about why that is, and Ben Shapiro himself has also noticed this. But when Ben launches in and calls Nick Fuentes groypers and Tucker Carlson racist, sexist, and homophobic, whoops, he didn't say that, but with the lefty talking points, I just figured I'd throw it in there. What he really means is that they question why Israel has so much pull in American conservative politics. And honestly, that is a really important question. I'll make a video about this, but when I went to Israel, because of how I look, I was called a dog, a terrorist, thrown against a wall, and interrogated by Orthodox Jews. And this was years before the October 7th attacks. There are real issues here, guys. And instead of engaging honestly with this group of people, and maybe even bridging the divide, Ben does what the left does and launches into ad hominem attacks. And I get it. A lot of my audience is pro-Israel. Heck, If I have to choose between Hamas and Israel, I'm definitely pro-Israel. But Ben is tone deaf. People are tired of blind, dogmatic, and unquestionable support for a country in the Middle East. What Ben should do is debate people like Nick, open up the dialogue, and resolve these issues. What he did instead is spread division. And he did it using the same tactics that the left does. Again, I'm not anti-Israel, but what I am saying is that the pro-Israel crowd needs to open up dialogue with the far right. And I think if that happened, a lot of the issues and divisions we're seeing right now could be resolved. If you don't stop with the diehard Bibi voting Israel stuff, you're going to fall off, Ben.